This is BeatBot AquaSense, the world's best intelligent cordless pool cleaning robot for an upgraded pool cleaning experience. Okay, this product couldn't come at a better time. With the spring cleaning season full in effect here in Florida, our pool is definitely needed for some good scrubbing of the pool. We have lots of pollen all over the top of this pool. As you can see, it's turned it definitely tinted, so we have to do some good scrubbing along the walls of this pool. So it has effortless maintenance with support, with software updates, and convenient app controls. Now, my pain points about getting the vacuums out of the pool are the ones digging it out of the pool, because they're full of water, they're heavy, and you have to rip them up. Even when you're in the water, sometimes we take them out and they're like so full of water. It's like, and then you pick them up and sometimes the tops would come off, and so all the dirt would go on the bottom of the pool. So I love that this just comes up on its own. BeatBot AquaSense intuitively returns when battery levels are low or cleaning is complete. Plus, it offers waterline parking support for up to 10 minutes, ensuring an easy retrieval. Love that there's no cords, because you don't have to mess with anything on there, and it has the nice filter. And I also love that it has a basket to clean out, which is much easier. So our last one, you would put the basket back in the vacuum and the lid would detach because it got stuck on the sides of it. And I was like, oh my goodness, how frustrating, because it would keep coming off and you have to carefully put it in here. I love that it's just open top on this, so you don't even have to worry about it. You just slide it right back in. It's got double filtration on it, so it cleans a really great job. And it's got the ultimate convenience because it's got a cordless charging dock for plug-free operations. So I know the cord where it plugs in on my other vacuum has completely eroded away. It's like barely there anymore because the way that the metal and the salt water react in the water, not very good. So this is great that you just set it on its base and it charges. Thank you, BeatBot AquaSense, for sharing your product. Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. It is spring cleaning day here in the Maryon household in Florida. Yes, can you tell the pool has got a nice greenish layer on it? Well, I was like, what is wrong? Is the chlorine off? Is something wrong? No, it's pollen. It's pollen everywhere, and I'll show you where. Look at all this stuff. We've got lots of these things all over the ground from these wonderful trees that are growing. Look at the grass. Oh my goodness. Like, yeah, let me show you. Look at all that. We have like weeds growing with flowers. So nice. We have some grass to cut today. We have got so much, like Maxine, she's like, it's a lizard. This has got water in it. We need to dump this out so we can, use it. The floaties, we did like 2 floaties and never blew up the rest. Somebody threw their flowers in the yard. Why would you do that? I don't understand. There's stuff like, I've got a whole container down there full of water. Like, look at this, needs to have stuff done to it. Full of water. That needs to be emptied, moved somewhere else. I've got a grill cover on the ground. We've got like stuff to do. Yeah, this is called a little bit of time and not haven't done anything. The pool, we were out of chlorine. Well, we're out of chlorine. We're out of salt. Salt is what makes the chlorine. So we had to go get some salt today. You need some of this to put in that helps the chlorine stand, and muriatic acid brings down your pH. So we have got stuff to do. Look at, you want to see the pollen? Oh no, the orchid fell. Oh my goodness. That's Brooklyn's orchid. That just fell. Yikes. Okay, see the green? Pollen, look at it, it's on everything. Gross. Maxine's bed, she kind of sits on, look at the table. Look at all that pollen. It's everywhere. The bag's still sitting outside, but the pool is bubbling, looking great. We gotta put this thing away. See the pollen? Pollen all over that. This is sitting here because it's really heavy. We gotta blow up all the floaties. So today is going to be a good spring cleaning, get your yard cleaned up kind of day, because we got a lot to pick up. So you guys ready? Or do a whole bunch of random things today? It's gonna be a great day. All right, let's go. I got a new wreath at Marshall's, so I wanted to put this up here. So now we have a nice orangey color wreath for the summer, because I thought I wanted to have something out here that, because we just had a fall one, we had a winter one, but I don't have anything for spring. So this one's a little bit different. It's a little more floppy on here, but I guess it should be good. So it works. There we go. Got a nice wreath out there for the summer. This is something strange. I noticed that a couple of neighbors have orchids out of the middle of their tree, and I thought, that is so weird. Is that a natural thing? We have one too. Look at that. It's literally coming out of the tree. So I kind of Googled it and looked up. You can actually, the seeds grow really well in the bark. Like, who would think to do that? Like, a lot of people in our neighborhood have this, which is so funny. So I thought that was a very interesting phenomenon. I was kind of sticking out where they had ones that like fills up this whole little corner right here. So we've got another one. I'm like, we need to plant it in the tree to see how it does. Has anybody else done that? I've never even heard of planting an orchid in a tree, like at all, ever. So I thought that was kind of cool, or something different. So kind of neat. So there we go, we got the orchid in the tree. Look at, she's waiting for me. She says, where are you going, Mommy? I'm so sorry. Frank's out here cleaning the yard up.
Yeah, these palm trees, they shed like way more than I would have ever thought.
I'll show you the nasty.
Okay, last week, there was a lot of dead stuff here.
Yeah.
And there was just a bunch of ants in there and stuff like that. So last week I peeled everything back and rubbed all the ants off and stuff like that.
And look at.
So then I came back this week and they're gone.
They're gone
from it. But I did have a dead branch here and a dead branch here, so we got rid of those and I just peeled back all the rot so I could breathe. Kind of dry out a little bit here.
Greg's tree's growing. Notice my little Christmas cactus is dead.
Yeah, I keep my stuff hooked up.
Mine's good. So he's cutting things like a man.
Yeah. So then go up.
Then palm tree here.
Yeah. So you can see all this.
That stuff's gotta be pulled.
Yeah. This loose brown stuff.
It comes down.
I just started yanking as much down as I could get with the pull saw.
Yeah.
The pull saw's got like a little hook on the end of it. And you can grab some of that dead stuff and get
pull
it off of there.
So he's cleaning.
Yeah, but just getting all the deadfall out of here.
Yeah, look at these little balls. I don't even know what they are.
Oh my gosh.
They're like all over. We got a big giant. They're like, they come in clusters. Some sort of cluster.
Yeah. And I read on the internet about it before I cut them.
Yeah.
So you can leave them, let them fruit, or you can go ahead and cut the bundle.
Cut them up because they drop all over your yard. It's like a terrible acorn. Let me show you. Look at these things. It's like a cluster of them. They're huge and heavy. So they're definitely like, there's orange ones kind of dead. So definitely doesn't do anything, but it's just a big giant mess in your yard. So he's out here cleaning away, working up, getting everything done, throwing stuff in the box for recycling man. I know my limits. Here's my Christmas cactus, you guys. I don't even know. Everybody says I'm overwatering it. I literally am putting nothing in here. Look at this to me, looks like it's just dead soil. So Maddie put her little cactus out here, and you know what? It's growing amazing. She's literally, she put this and this right here, and it's growing great. So I'm gonna plant mine right here, and it probably will do fine. There we go. I'm putting this thing right here. Let's see if it does any good. I think the branches got broken up. We're going to just see. If I leave it alone, it'll probably do great. I decided to do voiceover for this video because it is, as you'll be able to see in the video, it is so windy outside today. I don't even know. It's like hurricane wind, which was very strange, I thought, but it's okay. We work with it. I didn't want the wind chimes blowing and having it be hard to hear, so I thought I'll just do no sound and just do a voiceover. So hopefully this is a little bit better for you. So we are doing a huge yard cleanup and getting the yard ready for spring, summer weather. So in Florida, I'm realizing that is called pollen season, like ridiculous amount of pollen season. In the mountains, we had it. And it was on things, but I don't know. I noticed it's on everything here, probably because it's a lot more flatter. So our entire pool has been coated with it. Our filter, you'll see today, it is so green. It is so nasty. The pollen has just been coating everything so bad. I end up spraying everything, wiping everything, and it's just like yellow. So gross. So I wanted to clean the tables off and the chairs. I'm sure I'm going to have to do it a few times because we really haven't had rain to get it all cleaned up. So I'm just going to be scrubbing everything off, getting it cleaned up, and ready for our little enjoying out time, for the summer. And so this is good. We got these chairs last year. I think they were on clearance at Home Depot, and then I wanted to get a different table, but they were just so expensive last year. So I bought these ones from, I don't know, Walmart, I think it was. They were like $35. So the one of them is super rusty on top and the other one is not too bad. But I thought, you know what? We're actually going to put these under like a gazebo type pergola thing. And so I was thinking I could just get tablecloths because it'll be covered. We're going to see. Big old long old-fashioned tablecloths. We used to have those all the time, but we'll see, because the table structure is still good. It's just the top is yucky. So I will see how that works. But I'm just literally hosing up. Every time I hose everything up, I just feel like I see yellow everywhere. So I just wanted to get everything done, let it sit in the sun, and get it all a chance to dry before we move it and decide where we're going to put it. So we're going to put some stuff in this area. So I wanted to move everything down, like the side of the pool here, so that we can have some space to set everything up. And so this was coated. This is where we sit. We have our coffee here every single day. I do a lot of times where I sit. I just got this because we wanted something to sit by the pool last year. I think I found this on clearance at Walmart. And so it worked, but I got some new chairs coming for right here to sit and enjoy for the summer. So just scrubbing everything off. This thing has been sitting here only a short amount of time, and there's so much pollen on it too. So lots and lots of pollen. Could have just hosed everything, but I just did some simple green as well on things. But look at the wind is just blowing everything. So this, I think I come over here and get the little bin that we have on the side. This was full of water because it got left open. So I wanted to kind of hose that out and get it cleaned out because we ended up putting some of our pool stuff in the shed thing, and then we put some in here as well. So just kind of cleaning it off, that's all. Everything is like a clean, hose off kind of day. Maxine was like right at my heels all day long, just outside, enjoying life, you know, barking at the neighbor dog, looking for squirrels, looking for lizards, all those fun things that dogs love to do outside. So it's just so windy. I just can't believe the way, like everything kept blowing. The floaties kept blowing all over the yard, but it was good. It's good to get things cleaned up. I've been staring at my backyard. It's like the same thing with the house, and it's like you want to get it done, and you know these things have to get accomplished, and you're like, okay, we just got to save it all for one day. So now we'll have it done. It'll be able to keep up, you know, a little bit better. So these things are always hard to leave open and let them drain out. So I'm like, carefully put out its side just so the sun can beat on it, and then it can dry everything inside, which works out really good. And then this area, Greg was gonna be cutting the grass, so I just wanted to get everything off here, and this is all from our bins, the bin that I was just washing. So basically throwing it all up there so he can cut the grass over here. And then those rusty looking things, those are for my smoker. We took that thing out to clean it because, you know, I do not like cleaning my grill out, smoker at all. And so we took them out, set them there, and they've been sitting out, resting. That's okay. They'll get cleaned up, and Greg's got to replace the ignition thing in it. So I would just clean this up so he can come back and get everything cut back here. The grass over here is it's very forgiving. We moved in, like if you put anything down anywhere, it like, you know, kills it real quick, but it like grows back really well. Like right here, this in the ground looks dead. It'll grow back really well, which is very surprising. I'm like, it's a different kind of, I don't even know what it's called, St. Augustine grass. I think it's like weeds or vines or something, but it works. All right, then here is what I did, blowing up floaties. We had all these floaties put away. And so I've been wanting to get those all blown up. It seems like they took forever. We bought a couple at Christmas, and just to have fun outside. And so that's what I was doing, blowing everything up. But it was so windy. It was so windy this day. And you're going to see what ended up happening to our floaties. So the avocados, I told Greg, I said, he kept having to move stuff when he was cutting grass. And I said, honey, it's like picking up kids' toys all day long. He's like, I know. And I said, you're going to be doing it forever because we're going to add pool floaty, new one each year, or probably a couple each year. So the avocado, this is one that started it all. This when we had our little Intex pool in the mountains, and it was freezing cold. But it worked, and those were so fun to sit on, and I enjoyed them. So I'm like, these are one of my favorite floaties. We have two of them here, and I was able to blow them up. It just seems like it took forever and ever to blow these things up. I was like, okay, I will spend my entire day blowing up floaties, and that's okay. Thankfully for the air compressor, that's a good thing. I just figured it would go a lot faster, but it did not. So thank goodness I could sit under the porch here and just get these blown up. So I was just we had two, blowing them up. And I'm going to see that I spent all my time doing this. And like I said, by the end of the video, these things get destroyed. Yes, the wind. It was not a very good day by the end in terms of floaties, but you do what you can do. So these floaties are great. The avocados are probably my favorite. We bought some, I think we get them for like $15 on Amazon. They last so well. They come in a pack of two, and it comes with a ball, like the pit of the avocado in the middle. These are great to sit on because it kind of like just like closes you in really good, and just is a nice sitting thing in the pool. And so these were some of our favorites for the water, and we were glad to use them. I was even thinking, I'm like, should I get some more for the summer? But we'll see. And I got beach balls. I ended up ordering some of these for around Christmas time to play with. So I was just filling those up. I knew those were just going to blow. Thankfully, everything kind of blows it. It hits the fence. It doesn't like blow over the fence for anything. I think the kids have thrown a ball over the fence in accident playing like volleyball, but none of the floaties end up going. And then I was refilling these up because the kids had filled them up this week, but they just weren't like super full. So I'm like, let me get them filled up nice and tight so that they're really good, and I can put this air compressor back out in the garage because it's a big giant thing to kind of lug out to use when you're having to blow these floaties up. So Carlos, this is our Carlos floaty. The kids name all the floaties something. I think we had a Carlos in the mountains too, and then we had one and had glitter all inside of it. And so one of the girls jumped in the pool, and that glitter thing exploded all over the pool. And I was like, oh, no good. So when I got a new Carlos, they were very happy to have a new Carlos floaty. And then here's the dog. These just kept blowing and blowing, so I was just blowing. This is fun. We got this one at Sam's Club. This is a great floaty. They even had a flamingo there too, and I don't know if the base of it is the same, but this was a really nice, like wide seated, a little bit more comfortable than the other one. I think the other flamingo was an Intex one, but these, and they're about the same price. We got this one at Sam's, and this seems to be like a favorite of the kids just because you sit on it nice and comfy. But the holes are like huge, so I'm trying to put this tiny little, the air gun in there, and it's just so I have to kind of cover the hole so it doesn't escape out the sides of it. But this works, and it was so beautiful. It was like 85 degrees and sunny outside, and the wind was just whipping. So it was a beautiful, beautiful day. A great day to be working outside, getting things accomplished. This deck had multiple things to blow up. It also had like a little pair of glasses. They were separate to blow up a little bit harder. So the wind is blowing. It kept blowing my container over. So I'm like, how am I going to set it up now? So I'm just trying to pick it up, and it had like dirt on. Okay, this was the wow. We got this last year at Sam's Club. I think it was $50. It was fun. It was great. And then as we were putting it away last year, we noticed a tiny scrape like on the bottom. It didn't deflate like that I remembered last year. So I was like, well, that's weird. Maybe it'll, wherever it was at, it worked out good. So I ended up taking so much time blowing this thing up. It seemed like it took forever. I was like on the ground, and I was like, okay, this is taking forever to blow up. And I'm like, is all the air going out the hole? And we were smart last year. We saw the hole, so we put a big X on it and blown up. So then I just let that sit because I was like, I'm so done blowing this up right now. I can do that later. So I ended up moving the chairs over here and the table because we are going to move around our area a little bit over here. So this worked out good from when we first moved in, having the table over here because of the way we had stuff. We kind of moved it around, but we have since decided to do a few different things over here. So we've got some furniture coming for under, like by my kitchen windows here, like where the duck and flamingo are, over like where our grills are. So that is going to put like a nice couch sitting area. It's going to go over there. So then I have to move those the smoker and the pizza oven out of here. So I thought, well, let me clean this area up here, move the tables. We weren't sure where we were going to put the table at just yet, so that's why I kind of threw it on the side here. So I wanted to kind of clean this area up so that we could get everything moved and set up kind of how we wanted this. I didn't know if we were going to put up against the house here or what. We ended up moving it. So I thought, well, I just put it, like again, you put things up and you see what it looks like, and then you go, okay, this works, or no, this doesn't work. So that's what I was doing with everything. Cords. The air compressor has lots of cords. And then I ended up moving our pizza oven over and got that over there. Before I didn't like them out. We put them out in the open when we first moved here, and then I was like, ooh, they're getting all wet because it does rain here. And so then now we have covers. I just bought covers from them. I'm like, hello, just keep them covered. So we have this one. We like using this one. The pizza oven is fun. It's okay. I guess in hindsight, I would get not a wood one. I would get a gas one because to start a fire here in Florida, it's muggy, it's hot, and it's like never a good thing to do. So, but it's fun to do. Greg does the fire for me. Then our smoker here, Greg's got to put the ignition in, so I didn't have the cover on it completely. So I just slid those over there, and I wasn't sure where we're going to put everything, but we're again experimenting in where we want to put things. Here I am blowing this wild thing up. I decided to do, Craig said, maybe do the top, then it won't look like it takes forever. I'm like, there, that's a good idea. So I started doing the top part and blowing that up. But yeah, again, it takes forever and ever and ever. So he came back and he was doing the grass back here. He was doing the front, getting all that done, and then started cutting out back here. Maxine, she loves the lawnmower, she loves the weed whacker and the leaf blower. I don't know why, but she does. So he's getting all the grass cut real good and getting it done, cutting in the edges, all the stuff that you got to do when you do yard work. So that's what he's getting done in the back here while I'm doing the rest of the stuff. He was doing the front, and I'm literally sitting here. Sitting here. So meanwhile, while he's cutting the grass, the floaties are like blowing out of the pool. So the flamingo had already gone to the corner. There goes the duck over the corner, and the avocados were over there. And I was like, ooh, those are going to be bad. So he picked them up, put them over here, put them back in the water again, and they stayed for a little bit. And then he literally did this. I don't know. Look at, they keep blowing. So they just keep blowing out. So he kind of goes, there goes the flamingo. The duck ends up going over there too. So they just kept blowing and blowing and blowing. And I was like, okay, so I was doing this thing. I stopped. I'm like, well, maybe I should go get the floaties. And so I walked over there. When I was done doing this, I'm like, let me just take a break and I'll go get those floaties once again and move them so he doesn't have to keep, stopping the lawnmower and doing the things. But he's like, no, it's fine. I was kind of kick him along, push him along, stay behind him or whatever. Well, what happened is the flamingo, he said he went to grab the flamingo, Carlos, and he said when he grabbed it, he grabbed the handle of the lawnmower and it went forward, so it poked a hole in Carlos's nose. And I'm like, no. So Carlos right there, that's what happened. So he just threw it aside. So Carlos had a hole. Thankfully, it's 2 parts. So I was like, okay, maybe that can be fixable. We'll see how it works. You can put a patch on it. You never know. We used to do like a E6, I think they call it E6 5000 or 6000 glue or whatever. It's like waterproof. And we used to use that on our floaties for the lake because we would get holes all the time, inflating them. And, you know, look at this. He literally moves it. He's like, here's your flamingo with the broken head. I'm like, what? Not Carlos. So we figured it'll work. So I finally got this bottom one filled up. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stop right there. And then meanwhile, I'm going back to over here. We put that up against the wall and I started putting like our boogie boards in there because it's going to be more of a storage of things. I didn't really know exactly what we want to put in there. Again, trial and error. That's what you do when you set things up for the first time. And they had shelves in here. And I wasn't really sure how to put the shelves, like how we were going to stick them in here. Because I didn't know it was looking. Look at the wind. It is whipping so hard with everything. The way this is our old pool vacuum. I think it came with the house. We didn't need this anymore because we have the robot vacuum. So I was just winding it up and I was going to go put it at the road so someone can come pick it up. And then here's the floaties. So then along the fence, okay, everybody's fence has these things in the back. It kind of looks ugly because they rust, but they like, otherwise there's a big hole under your fence. You can't cover it up because you have to have drainage. That's in our rules, is you have to have drainage. Obviously, that makes sense. So, you know, your backyard doesn't flood or you don't flood the whole neighborhood, so it flows out. But these things, they're just ugly. They're ugly, ugly, ugly. And then as I'm taking it, we wanted to weed whack really good because you can't really weed whack through them. It just doesn't work because the weeds grow right up through it. So I was pulling them all out, and then Greg went by with the weed whacker and was cutting it. And some of the fence is higher. There's definitely erosion back there, and so see it like sticks like a vine almost, but not all of it. And so after I took it all out, because we were like, well, maybe we'll just leave it out, just cover the areas where the big holes are. And then as I was sitting them down, I'm like, ooh, these are to protect alligators from coming in your yard, I bet, because we do have small ones in our neighborhood in the lakes. But I'm like, I bet you this keeps out alligators. I'm like, we've got to make sure we put them back. So I'm like, I don't want to have alligators in the yard. So he went by, he was weed whacking it. I started working on this over here. So putting these in, you just had to screw in they had like little plastic screws. So I was just putting those in. I ended up putting the 2 shelves in the front. And that way I was allowed to keep the boogie boards in the back standing up. So will it stay like that? I don't know. We might. It's, again, trying to configure what we're going to keep in here. So we have like our old pool vacuum in here, the old school one, and we ended up taking that out, and then we had someone in the neighborhood that could use it, so pass it along to them, and then the boogie boards can all stand up in here, which is really nice. That ended up working out really good. And then we put some of our pool supplies, because we do keep them outside, so I'm hoping they'll be fine in the container. We'll see. We only have to use a little bit. Like I said, you usually just have to add muriatic acid and pool salt to the saltwater pool, so I ended up putting this on the bottom, just trying to make it fit. I just didn't know how it was going to work. I told her, I'm like, do we take the bottom shelf out? What do we do? I ended up changing my clothes because it was so hot. We took a break and swam in the pool earlier because it was pretty warm outside. So I came in and put this on. I'm like, I need something cooler for working outside. So this ends up working. It goes right here. That wind is just blowing. And then moving it and sliding it, it kind of like made it, separate a little bit. So he just had to fix it for me. And then we ended up moving the table over here. So we've got like I want to say like one of those covering, like a tent thing type thing, basically. Probably you would call it like a pergola. Is that what it's called? You see them at Lowe's. And so we're going to end up putting that over here. And then what we'll do, if we love this, we will put in a little pad over here. I just said, well, let's move it there. We'll live like it for a little bit and see if we really like it. And then we'll see how it goes. You know what I mean? She had a trial and error it, but I think we like it like off that area, because we need like large amounts of things, lots of chairs, lots of areas to do this and that. And so I thought that'll be a great area to have it, because then we can hook some of our lights up underneath it. So I was just leveling the table there, because the ground we're going to have it on the other side of the yard, but that's a lot, the level was a lot different. You'd have to dig down pretty far. So over here, I just put a couple bricks under a couple sides of it to make it. But I think this is going to work for us, and then have the cover right off that deck over there, because underneath there, the cover, we're going to have a couch, and we got like a little coffee table, so it'll be like a nice sitting area for us to be at. So I think that's going to work over there. So I was just taking away a couple pool poles that we use for scrubbing and for hooking the vacuum. So I was just putting those on the side. So it worked out really good. Just kind of cleaning up, getting things accomplished. It's a good thing to do. And these, I just put our pool noodles in, and the beach balls. I was going to leave it there, but then we decided when we put up against the fence. So I was sitting on this side, and I said, "Want me to look and see what it looks like?" I had to put it in the middle of the thing. I was just staring at it. I think I ended up moving it over here. But in the end, we ended up moving it back. I don't know if I filmed that part or not. So, time for break for lunch. I've been wanting to do those chopped salads, or chopped subs, and I didn't want to make them on Friday, so I'm like, let me just make them real quick here on Saturday. So we were hungry, we were starving. So I was hurrying up and making subs for us. So I just took some lettuce, some pickles, some Mount pepper rings, and ended up getting a tomato and putting the tomato here as well and just chopping it up. I'm like, I thought this was a genius thing, and it made a lot of salad. I think I would we use the Cuban sub rolls. They're a little bit fluffier. So some of the inside stuff was the filling was kind of coming out when you're eating it, but it was still a neat concept. Would I do it again? I don't know, maybe just for the veggies. I don't know, but it was fun. It was fun. I'm like, I've been wanting to try this forever. So I'm like, let me just do it. So for Greg's, I did chicken, bologna, and some provolone for his. And we used Miracle Whip and mustard, a little bit of Italian dressing, and salt and pepper. So a fun thing. I can see, like I said, I can see why people love it and love the whole idea of it. But you know what? Do we have to do it every week? No, probably not. Something to do, just something fun. It's like one more step when I just make regular subs. You know what I mean? I was trying to open everything. I wasn't a hurry here. We were using my teeth to rip the lids off. I know, not good, but it works. So you had to shake it because all of it's separated. But we tried it. We did it. We tried it. Something I wanted to do. Greg and I were the only ones that had it because the kids ate other things. We were using up all of our leftover stuff. So, and we had the Cuban subs. These are really good. They're nice and soft. So I just served in our microwave for 30 seconds because they were a little bit cold because I had them in the refrigerator and I was just filling them. Let me just use my hand. We were needing food ASAP, so I just got the hand in there and scooping it in. It was washed and clean, but it worked. I mean, it's a good, like I said, something different, something fun. Yeah, chopped subs. I know not everybody in my family would love that because they don't love all those toppings. So, and then for me, I just used salami and chicken, and I used American cheese actually in mine. And then said chop all this in there. So something fun to do, fun for parties, something different, but everybody's got to love everything. And I feel like in our household, not everybody loves everything. So that was not going to be a feasible meal for us to have for everybody. But still something fun. So we took a break. We sat down in there because it was really hot. It was 85 and we were getting a little toasty bean out there. And took a break, ate these, talked for a little bit, and was like, okay, let's regroup and then we'll go head back outside and finish up some more stuff in the yard. So easy, yummy meal. Okay, coming back outside. So now I want to get up there. The sun's kind of going down and leaf blow. I didn't know if it was better to leaf blow or if it was better to hose everything off. So I figured whatever, I just leaf blow because we've got all those things from those trees in the back there everywhere. So I wanted to kind of blow everything off. So meanwhile, I was blowing so much stuff into the pool at the same time, but I was like, it's okay. We need to do both. And then cutting grass and stuff like that gets all over the ground too. So I was just blowing away. Maxine's right at my heels everywhere I'm at. She's doesn't let me go very far. So I'm back here, I'm trying to get this so perfectly, do good, and then I end up bringing the hose out and spraying. I'm oh, I'm actually going to take more time with the spraying of the hose. But that's something else we need. We need to pressure wash the fence. That's something we need to do as well. But it was still blowing. I know it would blow in the neighbors, so we didn't want to do that. And I got these big giant floaties I'm trying to, blow around. It was not very, very good, but it worked. It worked. So I just end up getting everything off, and then I'm okay, let me get my hose out and start hosing off the house. Because I did the one side, right here, that's shot in the window, and I started doing it, and it was all green, and I'm oh God, or yellow from the pollen. I'm oh. So I ended up just taking the hose and hosing everything out. This little shelf over here in the pool was just covered with yellow. So I'm hosing it. It's just yuck. It looks like green pool scum, but it's ended up just being pollen. So basically it's running into the pool over the sides of the pool. And I'm okay. So we had to do this was a good day. We had our pool. We had to add salt to it and crank up our salt generator so that it would do lots of chlorine and put our levels back to normal because we haven't been heating it the last couple of days. We feel like the heating days may be gone. We'll see if we can just keep it, if it stays warm enough to swim in. So I ended up just, like I said, just hosing everything off, making it nice and clean. I started doing the back here, and then like as I'm doing the doors, I don't like blowing the windows because I always feel like it leaves spots on it, but as I'm doing it, it's just like green, just like you can see it going down the White House. I'm like, ooh, yuck. So I'm like, definitely need to do that. So I was glad to hose back. I didn't do the side of the house. I wish I would have done that too, but I didn't think about that till after. So I got this part at least all done because we'll have furniture coming in here, so we'll have to hose everything down. And it's good. There was only a little bit of like cobwebby things, not too much. We don't have a lot of bugs here at all, which is awesome. I've got bug spray out, and I've got mosquito stuff I bought because we had mosquitoes the other day, but I told Greg, I'm like, I haven't even noticed any mosquitoes last night when we were swimming. So hopefully we won't have too many, but we do have to spray for bugs. We can do that this next week will be fine to do, but it's like the ground, like it's just like yellow. I'm sure everybody else has the same issues with their pollen. Probably Florida, I'm thinking probably starts a little bit sooner. And that's what I was telling Greg. I said, I think in the mountains it just was a little bit later and you had your windows open and enjoying the weather, where here it's like it's early, but you're still getting all that nice weather where you want to leave the windows open, but now it's just really, really hot. Here's the poor wow. These floaties. Just hosing. And I end up just basically hosing it right into the pool. I'm like, okay. So we ended up rinsing our filter a lot this weekend. We did it. We started because there was a little bit of, because of the no salt in it, made it go green, like start to go green. So we had to clean our filter off right away. And then after we cleaned this all up this day, we hosed it off. You'll see at the end here, we ended up doing that. But that wind is just blowing. It's blowing my camera. You can see it just whipping everywhere. When do you guys start your spring cleaning outside? Do you start? I see in the mountains, I feel like as soon as it started getting warm, I want to put everything out. So I remember filling our pool up in March, just because it was starting to get nice. And I'm like, I just want to get outside, even though we had snow. I think we had snow one time, and we had our pool up. And I'm like, that's okay. I mean, it didn't stay that long, but it's like just having it, like, because you want to get ready for it, because that warm weather is coming. You know it's coming. You want it to get warmer. It's like, almost if you hope you get everything ready, it'll stay warm. So we would fill it up in March, but I know sometimes we were up on the mountain and it would be real hot some days. And so you could, like the kids had like a kiddie pool when we first moved there. So they would go, if it was like the direct sun, it was pretty warm. But if you went down the mountain or were in the shade, it was frozen. So we did have that. And I thought, surely when we have the big giant pool, it'll be super warm. But no, the whole pool was, still ice cold water. Nice and well insulated on that mountain there. Oh, it's good. And excellent because she's just running everywhere. She's sniffing. That wind was blowing. Her little nostrils were just going crazy, trying to sniff at everything. And then we had that, and you can see the filter. Look at it. It's so gross. And we had already cleaned it before, so this is, it was just so full of stuff. That pollen will just ruin everything. So it takes some time hosing it off. I had to be careful of the fence because we ended up taking all those things off the back, and then Maxine could just go right underneath them. But she did good to stay near us until I had to put all back in. And Carlos' CD got broken, so I found a patch. So I'm like, let me put this on Carlos and let it sit out. So is it E6 or E5, 6000 or something, whatever that gray goopy stuff is. So cover your patch with that, put it on. If it's a small thing, I feel like it should be okay. But no, it didn't hold up very good for us this time. And sometimes it does. Like, we would use this stuff for our mountain stuff, but for whatever reason, it did not hold up. So I'm recommending it, but I'm not recommending it because it didn't stay. So I was hopeful because Carlos is a family favorite. And then here's the avocado. So two got a hole in it. So the one got stuck. I was in the back, and it was blown by me, and it got caught on one of those little white picket fence things, and it ripped a big hole in it. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I just killed my avocado. And then Craig had picked up the other one. He's like, honey, I just got a hole in your avocado. And I'm like, oh my goodness, my poor avocado. So I just cut a patch out of the big one and tried putting it on. I should have matched the colors up, but it didn't matter because, you know what, it didn't end up working. And then the wow there, that had one on the bottom. So I ended up letting these sit overnight in the sun. It was still sitting outside, hoping, very hoping that they're working. But if they didn't, I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just buy another one because we definitely need another Carlos. So usually I think if you just make the patch perfect and if it's not a lot of pressure, it's okay. But I feel like, and then I wanted to blow this one up again. I didn't blow it up all the way. Greg's like, don't blow it up all the way. And I said, well, it's just a little bit because I want to make sure that there wasn't another hole in it. So I was just filling it up. But like I said, we've had luck with it working good, and then this time it just did not work for us, and so that's okay. You win some, you lose some, right? So I was just filling up just to make sure there wasn't any more holes in it to not waste my time, so letting it sit. So these sat out overnight, and then we ended up, I think this is the last thing we ended up doing for the night. And we left everything. Oh, I was doing those too. I was thinking Greg started, and then I started finishing. Oh, no, wait, we gotta put the fence back in. Yes, we put the fence back in because Greg had it all cut. So it was I don't think it was ever moved. So it was just, you just had to set it in and push it down. It worked good. So that's the gator fence, I call it. I used to think it was to keep dogs out, but then I'm like, nope, I think it's to keep the alligators out of your yard because they can crawl up underneath there. So we ended up putting it where it was not all the yard. It's supposed to have a drainage thing behind the house, and it's really bad in some areas. You can see really far under, and some it's not at all. It's the ground has grown up real well through it. So we ended up, I think this is the last post that we ended up putting them in this little section right here, and then we ended up stopping and then skipping that whole middle area and just moving down to the other part. But they were so stuck together. All these little things were just sticking though. It's viney, weedy grass, and it's just wrapped around everything. But it works. I mean, it's an easy fix. I feel like they should come up with something else if they, everybody, the entire neighborhood has this fence in their yard, which most people do if they're on the outside. But I'm surprised they didn't come up with a better functionality for the bottom of the fence. I don't know. And I don't know if other neighbors have this or neighborhoods have this, but I know ours, everybody's got those white little things in the bottom of theirs. So I don't know, it's just a different way. I was even thinking, we were talking about doing just a chicken wire and then painting black so you can at least see through it, with the spikes in the ground. But I don't know. It's just, again, we're going to do some investigating, figure out what we can do for back here. I know it's got a drain, but we definitely have a lot of erosion in the backyard too, on the one side of the yard. So all things to do in the future. So this is the state of the floaties when we went to bed. I was hopeful they stay awake. And then this is the next day. I got up and filled them up. I was all excited. The sun is going. And I'm yes, the floaties are going to be beautiful and amazing. I'm going to blow them up. It's going to be the greatest day ever. The avocado is going to work. And Carlos is going to be back in business. No, that was not end up being the case at all. Not at all. Because then I sat here with this wow thing and I started blowing that up. And I'm oh my goodness, this is taking forever. I started blowing up the big giant thing. I dragged it over and I'm blowing this thing up. And I'm what if this thing doesn't work? What if I sit here for the next 45 minutes blowing this thing up, however long it took, and it ends up not staying full? So I filled it up for a little bit, enough to where I could see, is it making a difference? And then I ended up leaving it and came back to it. And then this was the verdict of everything. No, no holes. So that was going to be passed along. And then poor Carlos, he's done. He didn't even have that big of a hole. He was done. So we have another one on the way in the avocado. I know, devastation. So I decided not to keep those at all. We got some other things. But look we got everything all done. The sprinklers came on today, and we got the yard going. We got some, you see how it's all dead right there. Greg had raked that up, and we definitely are going to start watering now. It's springtime and getting it going. The chair's got a little worn there, but everything's just picked up. Looks good. It's nice and clean, ready for spring growth. So we got those things. We're working this morning. Yeah, it's the only thing we have to do is hose the fences off, and our table worked out really good here. I gotta put the hose away, but we're gonna end up using it. And then we'll put the cover on there, but it's cleaned up back there. And then my poor plant, I think I had the wild kind of sitting onto it. So I thought, let me water it just a little bit, not too much, I know. And that was it. It was just a great day, sunny and beautiful. And it was a great end. This is actually our weekend. So you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, bye.